Good morning, Year 5s. I'm just going to move this closer, actually. So, no, that way. No, yeah, there we go. So, it's Tuesday for our English, and our Do Now, as you know, this week is a random selection throughout Year 5, whether it was at school or home learning. So, here is our Do Now for Tuesday. So, we've got verb forms, apostrophes, and commas. So, very much a bit of a punctuation-heavy Do Now for today. So, verb forms. We ain't or we aren't going to dinner. We aren't going to dinner. Dave weren't or Dave wasn't behaving. Dave wasn't behaving. Oops, I keep dropping my pen today. Use a verb form of drive. So Dave his Ferrari into the back of a lorry. Dave drove his Ferrari into the back of a lorry. Use a verb form of push. Mr. Cooper was pushing for an answer. We did this as a home learning one. I remember talking about this on a home learning one. Which one is correct? Mr. Cooper's shoes were smart, or Mr. Cooper's shoes were smart? Now, last week in the hub, I had a couple of Year 3s in my little bubble, looking at apostrophes, trying to crack those bad boys, and a couple of them started putting apostrophes in the noun that belonged to the thing. So, which one is correct? It is this one here. Mr. Cooper's shoes. So the shoes belong to Mr. Cooper. And there is one Mr. Cooper, thankfully. What type of apostrophe is this? Mrs. Croft should have remembered her coat. That is a contracted apostrophe, isn't it? Because it should be, should have. So it's contracted. It's omitting, it's omitting the H and the A. It's omitting two letters there. Correct this. Scrooge's men worked hard all day, but they weren't allowed a day off. So there's a couple of things here. Scrooge's men, so apostrophe there, because it's the men belong to Scrooge. Worked hard all day, comma, because you've got a coordinating conjunction, and this is a main clause on its own. They weren't, apostrophe there as well, allowed a day off. Lovely. On to commas. Mrs. Corrin was cooking sausages, comma, but she forgot to turn the grill on. You need to remember your commas, guys, for Year 6. If you go to Year 6 not putting your commas in for coordinate conjunctions, Mrs. Corrin is going to come after me. She'll be coming after me. When we are allowed, comma, I'm going to play cricket, comma, get a coffee, comma, and go to the garden centre. Well, that's nice, because this one was clearly written in like proper solid lockdown, wasn't it? Have I managed to play cricket? No, but I've managed to train with a few friends. Get a coffee. I've managed to get a takeaway coffee around the corner. Go to the garden centre. Yes, I've done that. Well, that's nice, isn't it? That's really fun to look back at and read that. Anyway, good morning, Year 5. So good morning, comma, Year 5, comma, and that's Mr. Cooper. Don't forget the comma at the end here is to tell the reader that it's not the end of the sentence, you've got your reported clause next. Lovely, right. Both of those do nows were okay this morning, weren't they? Your challenge for today, you'll notice I've put more ha 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 ha. Just a little idea. It is like I've said a couple of times now, it's the last week of Year 5. Yes, we've not been in since the end of March, but that doesn't matter. We, to be honest with you, had looked at most of the things we needed to. The summer term just is like a ticking over of making sure it gets really ingrained into your head. So, what I want to do is a bit of a challenge, really. I've written a list of writing features that we explore in Year 5. Some of these would have been done in Year 3 or Year 4, but in Year 5, this is here's what we looked at a lot and what you need to take with you to Year 6. I want you to write a sentence that showcases each one. Okay, so for example, we've got, and I've kind of grouped them. So you've got conjunctions, you've got sentence openers, and then the rest of your punctuation. I tried to explain it on this sheet, but it's really hard to explain. I want you to write a sentence for each one. The sentences do not have to relate to each other. Obviously, unless it's a semicolon. but they don't have to follow on. So you're not trying to write something. I mean, you could. I mean, if you really want a challenge this morning, I mean, feel free to. You know, if you bash this out in 10 minutes and somebody's like, oh, hang on, you did that too quick, make a challenge. Can you write something that relates, like a mini story, a silly story, where each sentence has one of these? That could be really hard. So you need to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 sentences. Okay? One for each of these. Now, what that doesn't mean is that it doesn't mean that you can't use something again. So, you know, if you're opening with a simile, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're not allowed to, you know, put a possessive apostrophe in it, but it will not count. You need to have a sentence purposely for that, so you can't start mixing them all up. The reason I say that is because you'll lose cohesion really quickly. If you try, because I know what some of you will do. Some of you will try and do like 4 of these in one, which sometimes work, but a lot of the time you lose your cohesion. You've got too many clauses, too many features within one sentence. So, one at a time. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Okay? And good luck with that. I mean, there's nothing on here that should be catching you out. You know, conjunctions, not a chance that should be catching you out. Sentence openers, not a chance. And even the punctuation, I mean, we've done a lot of that, a lot of these recently. So, good luck with that. Enjoy. And mwahahaha. But, you know, it's not actually that much of a trick, really. I thought it was a real challenge at that. To be fair, make the challenge. If you can do it in a silly story and it's in order, that's a right challenge for you. Okay, so enjoy, good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.